Hey everyone, welcome back. So we have a new game that's sent in, and I just want to say I really appreciated the username of the person that sent this one in, because the username is Duolingo is under you, which I am going to guess references how that bird is always threatening me if I forget to study my language, because that bird always wants to send you notifications, and sometimes I'm concerned for my safety, so I always keep up with my daily Duolingo. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this game that was sent in. So we have e4, d5, takes, knight c3, queen a5, bishop c4, c6. So, normal Scandinavian or center counter, whatever you call it. Same opening. Knight f3, bishop to g4, d3, e6. There's something I really wanted to talk about when I was looking at this game. Obviously there's a lot of things that I could already talk about, but this is mainly what I wanted to talk about here. Bishop takes, queen takes, and all this exchanging. This is what I wanted to spend some time on, so I kind of jumped ahead 10 moves in. And here's what we're going to see. So we have these doubled pawns right on the king side. So this is something, I just want to say, this is something that would scare some people, or maybe they'd be upset I have the doubled pawns. Yeah, they're a weakness, obviously, a long-term weakness most of the time. And, and around the king as well, normally you don't like to have double pawns. And that's why I wanted to spend some time talking about this, because actually in this case it's not so bad, because, or not as bad as you would think at least. Obviously doubled pawns here, these guys are not necessarily the best, but there is a little bit of an imbalance going on here. If we notice, in exchange the white pieces now have the two bishops, whereas the black pieces have two knights. So that's the one thing you need to talk about. Two knights and a bishop versus two bishops and a knight. Two bishops do have a little bit of an advantage in most cases over, the side with the two knights, because the two bishops are very fast. And this is a type of imbalance that you'll see all the time in chess. Is the bishops versus knight. There's a huge rivalry going on. So let's see how this one progresses. And also, one other thing just to mention is the weakening of the king isn't felt so much because there's queens off the board. So that's one other thing to keep in mind here, is that's not a huge issue. Okay. a3, bishop takes, and now we see even more going on here. Now we have two bishops versus two knights. So this is going to be a very imbalanced game that offers even chances for both sides. Well, let's take a look at how this progresses again. Let's keep going. Okay. Pawn moves to f4. The idea is this rook is pinning the pawn. You want to play the pawn to f5 and get rid of the doubled pawn. So the black pieces say, I don't want you to have the ability to get rid of that pawn. Okay, rook 81, castle, king g2, we're improving the king. The king is a fighting piece, right? You wanna get him into the game. Knight h5, king f3 because the pawn is attacked. Knight b6, and so you can retreat, and so you retreat to a2. You can also go bishop to b3. Both moves are good. Obviously, just the point is you just want to keep this bishop. Regardless of where you go, you just want to keep the bishop. Because, you want the two bishops versus the two knights. Alright, and here, rook to e5 is played. And here is a move that does not stand out, but you can play here. And it's actually really interesting and offers the black pieces some chances to make some mistakes. So let's take a look at this move. Pawn to f5. So you might be thinking, well, why are we playing that? Isn't this move prevented a number of ways? The answer is actually no. It's not prevented by either one of those pawns, really. And let's take a look at why. This is a really fun variation. So let's say the worst move is played first. Let's go ahead and let's look at this. This leads to checkmate. There's forced checkmate here. Rook g1, and let's just go through a variation. And checkmate. Alright, let's go back to f5. Let's say we take the other way. Well, now we have something else. We have this rook coming to e7. And that rook looks pretty good on the 7th rank. I think that that's where that rook belongs. And I think that's doing pretty good for the white pieces. Because, you know, this pawn is under attack. And, as we all know, the rooks belong to the 7th rank. If you've ever seen Judith Polgar play a lot of her games, I've seen her use the rook getting to the 7th rank all the time. And, let's see here. And it's something like knight d7, we can just double our rooks, and then we're going to get a lot of play here based off of this. We have our very active rooks, and, okay, we're down the pawn, but we have some activity for it, and I think that this is definitely going to pay off for the white pieces, because we have these two powerful bishops pointing to the black king. We have our rooks doubled on the only open file, and we have much more activity for our pieces, while the black pieces are very passive. Okay. Rook to e5 is played in the game, and I'm sorry if I went off a little bit on that, but I just wanted to show that those variations because I thought they were cool. I don't want to spend all my time on them, but I wanted to spend enough talking about them. Okay, and let's go through this game here. Okay, so the white pieces win a pawn. Rook to c8, rook takes, so we want to exchange down, and you know, because we're up the pawn, so we're happy to have exchanges. Okay, and so now we have we have this bishop. We're opening it up. That's what we've been doing, and we're getting it some more diagonals. Because one thing about the bishop is the speed of the bishop can really be shown if you can create some targets, because this knight is off to the side of the board. So if you can find a way to get that bishop active, it's really going to show, because with pawns on both sides of the board, it's going to be more difficult for the knight to defend, because it's a little slower piece. Alright, f5, bishop f3, knight f6. And let's see what happens here. So knight g4. So the white pieces are happy to take and make it to a pawn endgame, because if you're up a pawn, it's very easy to win. And then we can just kind of go through here and see how we win. So the white pieces are just kind of waiting and then pushing the pawn. And once the black king becomes distracted, you can just run over and start eating all of the other pawns. And then, you know, we can just advance, and we're gonna win. Okay, here's where the last move is played. And so, yeah. So, very interesting game from the white pieces. We saw a lot of cool strategic points about the bishops and the knights. And, yeah, so I like this one. So yeah, that was a cool game, you know. Send me in all of your games, everyone, as always. Yeah, and keep watching, you know, like my videos, subscribe, tell your friends about me, all that stuff. If you like me, you know. If you don't like me, that's okay too. But, I'll see you later.